Hi, this is Jeff Mesnick. I'm here with the Channel Marketing Journal, and I'm here with Sal Patalano. He's the Chief Revenue Officer at Lenovo Software. How you doing today, Sal?
Good afternoon, Jeff. Good to speak with you.
It's great to speak with you. It was great meeting you at the CP Expo. I hope it was a good show for you.
Outstanding. Yeah, it was good to see everyone, and we got a lot of work accomplished too.
Excellent. Well, why don't you share a little bit about yourself so our listeners can understand kind of your expertise and your depth of knowledge.
Sure, I'm a little embarrassed to go as far back, but I'll cut it short and go halfway through. So I was an IBM business partner for about 16 years. We built a business, my partner and I, very successful, sold that business, and actually went backwards, went from private to corporate, joined IBM as the channel transformation VP, and worked with some really smart people there to rebuild IBM software channels. And we released the Software Value Plus program 2010. From there, went to CA Technologies, where I ran global marketing for the channel there. And most recently, for about 3 years, I've been at Lenovo as Chief Revenue Officer, and I have responsibility for all sales, marketing, customer success, and channels. So I'm effectively a channel chief as well.
Oh, that's great. Well, sounds like you've got a lot of great experience. I love when we get an opportunity to talk with people who are in the channel and also who are now managing the channel. Mm-hmm. So it gives us a real insight. So why don't we start off with a little bit of the conversations that we heard at CP Expo. And you and I were just going over this a little bit, but there was a lot of conversation about the need for partners to start collaborating, whether it be with one another or whether it's the vendors need to collaborate more with the partners. And I feel like you have a very strong take on this, and I'd love to hear it.
Actually, strong opinions loosely held, but I do, having been on both sides of this equation as a channel partner for much of my career, and then on the executive side with some pretty world class, world size channel programs. I do, and I think when we look at the channel and we talk about partners and partners collaborating, and even collaboration from vendor to partner, Jeff, it's always been a challenge. Getting partners to work with one another back in the old days was really tough because, we were very competitive, and we learned one thing from a partner, and our guys would figure it out, or our gals, and they'd go do it. So, the partnerships were really self-learning expeditions is what they were. So that's been a challenge. Ecosystem's always been a challenge as well. From the vendor side, it's also a challenge. Partners are changing dramatically. The channel is changing dramatically, and I've predicted that within the next 3 years, we probably see about 60% or more of our current channel partners, our traditional VARs and resellers and MSPs, we see them go away. I really think there's going to be a major shift. And I know a lot of folks are listening to this, and half are saying, he's right, I'm getting out. And the other half are saying, this guy's crazy. But, I was one for 16 years, and I have a pretty good feel for what it takes. Yeah. I think the vendor partner relationship is changing dramatically. And the days of the vendors coming in and really hand-holding the partners and sort of nurturing them along, I believe, are gone. I just think we've seen it come to an end, Jeff. Partners are very different. First of all, there's no line between a vendor, a partner, a consultant, a distributor. We all know each other. The industry, as big as it is tiny. We've all got the same skills. And, today you're working for me. Tomorrow I'm working for you. You're a partner. I'm a vendor. The lines are blurred. There's no lines of demarcation anymore. Right. And partners have figured a lot of stuff out that even a lot of the vendors and certainly the distributors haven't figured out yet. They're sort of blazing a trail and defining which way it's going.
Right. So that's interesting because we talk to a lot of vendors and they're like, well, we got to continue and offer the trainings, and we got to help them move along. We got to help them. Digital transformation has been the big word, right? And what I'm hearing from you, which is slightly different, is that actually the partners are doing the leading, and in many ways the vendors are following. Is that an accurate depiction there?
I think that's exactly right. And there's some controversy around this. I sit on, the Penton think tank, and I sit in a number of other groups, and we debate this quite a bit, and I speak on this quite a bit around the country. So here's my take on it, looking at it from all angles. Partners are really smart. Vendors are really smart, but the role of the partner has shifted, and vendors have a tendency to really, at the risk of using, a very simple term here, they baby the partners, right? I don't, to me, it's insulting to walk into a partner firm, whether they're 10 people or 500 people, and have to have a conversation with them about how to create a buyer's journey in digital content, digital experience. I think a vendor can offer some help specific to their solution, maybe specific to their business model or even their markets or industries. But, partners are business people. They've gone out there and they've invested a lot of money and a lot of time. They've taken a lot of risk. Okay. In some cases, they have investors behind them, and they're pretty sharp, and they know their market. They know what they're trying to get done. So I think vendors have to have the assets ready for the partners. They have to have the resources ready for them, but collaborating to the point where we're trying to force feed them and lead them, by the hand to the river. Look, you look at people running channel programs today, a lot of executives I know, and they're terrified to go into a partner and say, no, we can't provide that. No, we're not going to do that, because they're terrified the partner's going to leave. Right. And I say, with all due respect to the vendors and the partners, let them leave. Not every relationship is supposed to work, right? Right. There's an expression, there's a great expression that says a relationship, any type of relationship, is for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, right? And I think you've got to define that. So I really do think the vendors are overdoing it. They're spending dollars that the good partners, the focused partners, the qualified, the committed partners could use. And a lot of it, I think, is going by the wayside. The days of having to do a lot of this work are over, and it's okay to part ways. It's okay to decide, what? You and I working together is not a good business model. Best of luck. I'll see you at the next trade show. But it's not good for you and it's not good for me. And that's my firm belief. And I have seen countless examples of this proving true. And I've spoken to partners and I've spoken to vendors. The vendors in private will tell me you're absolutely right. Publicly, they're not ready to say it yet.
Yeah.
They're not ready to cross that divide. But I believe it's true.
So it's interesting because I talked to, while we were there, this gentleman who did the brand marketing speech at one of the luncheons. I don't know if you remember him. And so I spoke to him, and we have an interview with him. And we talked a little bit about doing a branding exercise. And the reason he thought of doing the branding exercise is because every partner has a brand, whether they know it or not. Mm-hmm. And by doing a branding exercise, the partners then get to recognize for themselves, as well as the vendors get to recognize, are these partners right for me? And maybe it's not right, because the brand tells you who they are. They give you the personality. And so, matching to what you're saying, maybe that was just a seasonal relationship that needs to move on. Right.
No, I think that's very well put. The days of the partners leveraging your brand, and Lord knows I had a lot of experience with this at IBM. Right?
Yeah.
In the early days when I was an IBM partner, to me, the ability to put IBM on my card and my collateral was tantamount to my business succeeding. Okay. Right. I mean, who was I? A 10-person partner firm, a 100-person partner? But I think those days are over. I think with the social and digital experience now and the buyer's journey, I truly think, with some exceptions, and there are some in certain industries, I think the days of partners wanting to use the vendor's brand are gone. I'm not even sure that they want the vendor's content anymore, because if the vendor doesn't have it right, if they don't have their content, collateral, and digital experience, or their curated data aligning to how that partner is going to market, or where that partner is going to market, and what the conditions are, it becomes useless. It's very hard to design a digital experience where one size fits all. Now, there's a few companies, they're doing a good job, but I think the days are numbered, Jeff. I just don't see it continuing to go in that direction. I think the tail is now wagging the dog, and maybe it was never the tail. Maybe it was always the partners were always, the big side of this equation. Mm-hmm. But I think things have turned around, and I think as a vendor, I think it's time to take a step back and try to look at how you're spending your channel money. For example, one of the things I've done is I've abolished MDF, all the hoops that you jump through for MDF. As an IBM partner, I literally had 3 people on my staff full time just to manage my MDF funds. And finally, I threw up my hands and I stopped. Now, when I joined IBM as an executive, the team and I fixed that. But what I do today is, if a partner comes to me and says to me, look, I've got 15 sales qualified leads I'm going to put into your deal reg system, and we spend $5,000 getting it, send me a bill, I'll give you a check. Because at the end of the day, all I care about is getting those qualified opportunities into my pipeline, right? How they got them, as long as it's not illegal, I really don't care. I don't care, Jeff. This is this whole vuja day concept, right? The opposite of deja vu. Turn it upside down, look at it in a different way, and say, what's my outcome? Well, my desired outcome is SQLs, right? As long as I can justify it, I've got the right invoices, and if necessary, I can support. how that demand gen campaign ran, and you can, 98% of the partners you can, I write them a check. End of discussion. No hoops to jump through. Now, if they turn around and they kind of bag you the first time, and it turns out that the leads are not that good, and they're kind of sandbagging you, that's the last dollar they'll ever get from me.
Right.
But I took all the challenges away, and you know what? The partners look at me with their jaws dropped open. Really? You're going to send me a check for $5,000? Why wouldn't I? You've given me exactly what I'm looking for, and we didn't have to go through all the hoops to get there. So when you say that to a lot of vendors, their heads explode. But I think we're moving in that direction. I really do.
So how about the younger partners who are innovative? And you talk to them and you want to meet them. And these guys are changing the face a little bit of the industry. So you've got a few young guys out there, the millennials, and maybe even some guys our age who are really trying to move that needle, but they need help. How do you support them?
Well, really, it's one-on-one. What we've done is we've gotten rid of the cams. And we've changed the role completely. I've now, and I had channel account managers for years. I designed programs at every company I was at around cams. Yeah. We've done away with it. I actually have my outside sales team working with the partners now, right? And I have them go directly in with a salesperson. He or she knows how the program works. Hopefully they know the sales motion. They know how to sell. They know how to get money from our organization down to the partner. They know how to handhold, do events, run demand gen. They know how to tie back to my marketing team because I have no separation between my sales team and my marketing team. They're one and the same. My marketing reps can go do a sales call, and my sales reps can actually build demand gen campaigns. I've erased that line. Another topic I love to speak on for another video.
Yeah, absolutely. Someday, I definitely want to hit on that. That's great.
Love to talk about that. But the point is, I team them up. Now, if you are in an organization where that's not possible, and it's a large group, and you still need your cams, they play a functional role. Yeah. What I'm speaking on actually at an upcoming event, the BAPT conference in May in Arizona, I'm going to be talking about what the role is of the new cam, right? And the role of the cam, I'll tell you, the number one qualification for me for channel account manager, I don't care if they know how to sell. What I'm looking for is, believe it or not, it's going to sound crazy, I want them to have a strong business analyst background and financial background. Right. And the reason for that is I want them to be able to sit down with that partner, look at their go-to-market, all the way to their P&L, and understand how their business runs and how working with our products, selling our products, where it hits their P&L, where it hits their cost side as well. I want them to look at it and be able to balance it out. And I want them to be able to do a business analysis inclusive of use cases, business cases, ROI, and explain to the partner, because some of them can do this, some can't, why this makes sense. And in the instances, Jeff, where it doesn't make sense,
right.
Nice getting to know you. Best of luck to you. I hope you make $1 million a month, but you and I aren't going to be able to do this together. So if the time comes that I start bringing cams in again, somewhere down the road, it will be a very, very different job requisition that I'll be writing.
Oh, that's excellent. Well, I will be at that BAPT conference, so I am looking forward to hearing that. So,
my pleasure.
But I appreciate this. Let's continue this at another interview, because it seems like there's a lot of great information that you have that I would love to share with everybody.
That'd be my pleasure. That'd be great.
Well, this has been Jeff Mesnick with the Channel Marketing Journal. And again, I'm here with Sal Patalano from Lenovo Software. He's the Chief Revenue Officer. Thank you very much, Sal.
Thank you.